Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Axie. As we get close to the closing hours of the free practice session, we'll be switching it over to the live screen of qualifying. They have about 10 seconds left. I want to just give a huge shout out to Jeff Fleischman, one of the drivers and one of the fellow ARC drivers, and a congratulations to him having a newborn child. Definitely huge shout out to him and wish him and his family nothing but the best. Love and respect. It's truly a blessing for them. As we get close to free practice is wrapping, and we will be jumping over to the live screen here as we wait for the countdown to continue down with 20 minutes and 38 seconds left. As you see in free practice, Aiden Hasbrook and Lane Zander sitting 1-2 with Andrew Jaschke followed super close. Question is, can Lane Zander keep this championship alive, or will he fall back? That is definitely going to be the big one that we're going to be asking ourselves throughout this whole entire qualifying session here at Imola. As we get going here, we have a few new drivers here. Definitely be interesting to see how they all progress. So we watched the end of Andrew Jaschke making his way around the track. One of the drivers must have fallen off. Hopefully he can get back in for the qualifying session. That would be wonderful to see. If there's a driver that is going around the track, please let us know through qualifying that you would like to see, whether it would be one of our championship contenders, Aiden Hasbrook, or Lane Zander. Looks like, Lane Zander was the one that kind of dropped out of the server. Or is it one of our other fellow drivers, Mr. Josh Kimball from the ARC group? Is he someone that we are going to want to see as we get ready to watch qualifying rolling out here in a second? So we start to see the drivers roll out and they get going. Here, this is definitely an interesting one. Oops, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Switching over. I don't know why this wasn't switched over prior. And here we go. We start to see the drivers make their way out of the pit box. It looks like the Porsche of Daniel Rosso, the McLaren of Brian Douglas. Andrew Cooper is making his way out in that white and green McLaren. Actually, a big race tomorrow at Imola. Don't want to mess up my mojo. Turtle Track Sim Sport. Big race tomorrow. It would definitely be an interesting. Actually, a big race tomorrow. Wait, what big race at Imola tomorrow? Oh, F1. I am having a brain fart. I apologize, Typeman. I want to see Howell spin and crash out. Asylum Blitz is Eric Howell. For those that do not know, that is out on track. I apologize. We're going to be changing Andrew Cooper's name throughout the race. So his name is Polly Wolstein. That is going to be his name for this part of qualifying session. Who else do we have out on track? Our Australian driver, Ollie. Ollie definitely looking racy. He definitely showed a lot of performance last week at Paul Ricard, so that's definitely going to be an interesting one to see how he performs there as he performs here at Imola, as he did at Paul Ricard, E-Seniors Group 2. Oh, that's right. That's okay. I will definitely have to watch that race. Shoot me a message on Discord. I'm sure we are on Discord, so I can see the race and everything else like that. And I will definitely root for you. Let me know what time it is. I'll definitely be cheering you on through the race as we see Ollie. He's about to cross the line and start his flying lap, ladies and gentlemen. We have a yellow sector nothing as the yellow has gone away, as we see the Lexus driver making his way down the front straight through turns 1, 2, and 3. As we see Tykesman in the chat calling out Blitz a bald spinner, because Blitz has a reoccurring theme here at GTMR where he likes to spin at certain tracks. So it'll be definitely interesting to see how that Aston Martin driver in the Red Bull Aston drives around the track here as we follow along with Ali on his opening lap and see what he does as 513, driver 513, James Parks is about to cross the line, followed by Cole Bennett in the brand new Audi Evo 2, and then followed by him is Tristan San Luis in the BMW. It's definitely going to be some of the drivers that we'll keep our eye on, as James Parks has definitely improved a lot here in the series. Doesn't look like he's set a time yet as they go through. Oh nope, they're still working on their laps as they go through. Ali looking nice and tight, utilizing a lot of the curbs here. He's 9/10 off the pace right now. Looks like about a second. Don't know if he boarded it or not. Andrew Jaschke is up 4/10 right now on his lap. Doesn't look like Buckley is racing. Nope, Buckley's not racing with us. So let's see what Ali can do as he crosses the line. He's going to be putting the car on provisional pole. And across the line with a 144.772. Let's see who else we've got coming up. Looks like we got number 42, Brian Douglas, one of the drivers we were talking about. He's about to cross the line. Followed by Daniel Rosso. He's about 4:10. Ooh, Daniel Rosso's on the back end. So that's going to be our new driver, Mr. AJ Murphy. He will be crossing the line. And Andrew Jaschke does 143.2. Andrew Cooper. Oh, forgot his name. McFlooperbergen and Mr. Andrew Cooper. Number P4 with he's 2 seconds off the pace. Jaschke trying to take provisional pole to win this out. As we see Brian Douglas is up 3/10. Let's ride along board. Mr. Josh Kimball in the Ferrari. The ARC's behind Ferrari. What can he do? He's in sector 3 coming down the hill here into a really tight, hard braking zone with the double right. Before he gets on the main straight, what can he do in this Ferrari? Looks like he locked up the front left a little bit as he's coming around the bend. Nice and tight. Trying not to use all that curbing there. Tykesman in the chat says certain tracks that Eric Howell spins at. It's all the tracks. That is true to an extent. Didn't look like he spun at Paul Ricard, but he did spin Stefan Buckley, so that counts as one of them, and looks like Kimball invalidated his lap. So we're going to take a ride along board with one of the newer drivers here that has joined us, Gabriel Marinkick. Gabriel Marinkick? We'll roll that. Gabriel Marinkick. And if I mispronounce his name, I have a feeling he's going to hit me up in the Discord and tell me that I'm doing it wrong. And I fully respect and understand that. Number 64 had to jump back into the pit. That was Asraf Azmi, our Singaporean driver. Definitely interesting. He is the most improved driver. And commentator Curtis Gabriel goes off the track. But let's see if he kept that in to keep it valid as Andrew Jaschke resets provisional pull out of 142.8. We know Aiden Hasbrook can definitely slam it down with his McLaren. Can he get it as we see Gabriel cross the line? He did not set a time. So let's do the viewer's request and take a look at Mr. Eric Howell. And Mr. Buckley is in. He is in the BMW. He is going to rock it. We know how much he loves the Audi Evo 2. For those that do not know, we have special news coming to you between qualifying and in the race, after qualifying and before the race, that we will fill everybody in and let them in on a little secret that's coming up on Sunday. And it's definitely going to be an amazing time for the drivers here. As we see Tristan San Luis, he's slotted up a little bit more. Cole Bennett slots himself 6th. Andrew A. Murphy puts himself 8th, and with a very respectable time ahead of James Parks in that McLaren. As we see Eric Howell coming here, he is definitely pushing as hard as he possibly can. Now, can he actually set the time that he wants to set here at Imola with 12 minutes left? We have a yellow sector 2. Howell slots himself P6 in the order. Now, let's see who else we've got going around. Mr. Lane Zander, our championship leader in that Mercedes up the hill. Looks like he's going to have Mr. Murphy right in front of him in that Porsche. Let's see if Xander's going to utilize him for a big giant toe, because we know that Porsche is going to knock out a big hole with all that aero for him as he extends his way out onto the main straight. And here he goes. Can the Mercedes reel him in to pick up a few tenths and take that fight for the P1? And he slaps himself P2, 4.440 back from Andrew Chastity, who's sitting P1 and must be super excited about that placing where he's at right now. So that's going to be interesting as Mr. Murphy goes into the dirt. Now let's see, we're going to drop back down with Aiden Hasbrook. We know he's fast, we know he's quick. He's in sector 1. He's going to have Flashkaboshk, Mr. Cooper, in front of him. Well, I have to remember Flashkaboshk for later. And it looks like Cole Bennett pulling off into the dirt, trying not to get into the way. So we see Hasbrook going into the dirt himself. So hopefully that didn't invalidate him as he's coming through this hairpin piece. And he's now working his way up the hill. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one to see where he places himself overall. Down the hill he goes in this beautiful right-hand turn. Seeing the flame spit out the back end of that car is truly a beautiful sight to see. Some of the cars in the game don't really shoot flames, but that McLaren definitely does. As we see Ali slotting himself up to P3. He's definitely looking super racy, and that's probably going to invalidate Aiden's lap there going super wide. So he's definitely going to have to find himself a good spot to slot himself in. So we see Josh Kimmel finds himself into P12, 5 seconds off the pace of pole position. We see the BMW and the Porsche getting a little bit of an issue. The driver's just trying to make a little space there. So let's see what Aiden and Gabriel can do. I don't think Aiden set a lap. I think he went a little bit too wide after the back end of that chicane there. So let's see what he can do on the main straight. Here he goes. Gabriel slots himself P5. Aiden did not set a time. Mr. Flaschenbach is going to be right in front of Hasbrook. Mr. Cooper P8. As we see, this is going to mess me up. Keep kind of saying this name that way. Haha, I ran out of gas on the last lap, as Silent Blitz said. And he says, no text, I am not streaming because he wants to support the channel. I thank you very much, good sir. As we watch these drivers make their way up the hill here, can Hasbrook make something happen? But Mr. Reckler, we're going to jump aboard him. We have not seen him in free practice at all, so we're curious of what he can do as he's making his way down the hill on this double right-hand turn before the main straight. Let's see what he can do. This is going to be his out lap. Definitely see what he can do. Back end's brake kicking out just a hair. We're going to ride along board with him on the onboard to show you a lap around Imola. On the main straight, he is. Let's see what Reckler does. Is they're about to cross the line. Does not set a valid time, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that driver as we see Aiden Hasbrook. He's 8.9 seconds off the pace, hasn't improved. Definitely is not looking very good, but we're going to ride along Stefan Buckley as he's coming into turns 1 and 2. Stefan Buckley definitely trying to make a big effort here to get a big jump in the championship standings overall and take the fight to everybody here. As we see Kevin Torrance from New Zealand slot himself P15. He is 6 seconds off the pace, so maybe he can make something happen. So we saw a big jump. Hasbrook 0.070. We knew he was fast, but he really put on the burners there on that lap. Put himself high up there in the podium spot. So the battle against Lane Zander is definitely pushing him back down the grid order, as we will see in the standings. Lane Zander is actually 15 points ahead of Aiden Hasbrook. So this overall is definitely going to help them out. And then if Ollie can make a move down on the inside of him, and Lane Zander keeps falling back down, this is definitely going to hurt them overall, as we see Josh Kimball right in front of Stefan Buckley coming into this final chicane before the double right, and then onto the main straight. The three drivers we still have yet to see a lap time put in. Sahin Reckler, Jamie Morrison, and Stefan Buckley. Reckler's time before invalidated, he actually slots in P3. And this is just definitely hurting Lane Zander's position times in the championship overall. But now let's see Buckley. He's about to cross the line. What is he going to do? P9 ahead of Flabbergaston Cooper. That's in P10 by a tenth. And let's see where Jamie Morrison is in that BMW as he's working his way up the hill. Still has yet to set a time. This is going to be his outlap, so we'll keep an eye on him as he's working around. Oh, he taking his car the Wizard of Oz style. Aliens at the top once again. Well, you know, Tykes, it's not really aliens. It's just the drivers that are putting in the time to help out. And also, by the way, huge shout out to Tykes, man, being on a FIFA 22-man team. Definitely have to catch up with him again on that and see how he's doing. But I'm kind of surprised Tykes, man, isn't racing. He had a beautiful performance in Paul Ricard Super Racing, scored a lot of points. Curious to figure out why he's not here racing with us. I feel like the Lexus would be super good for him to be battling out in this performance here. Let's see Jamie Morrison. What time did he set as he's about to cross the line? See Murphy right behind him. Okay, Jamie Morrison is still. See who else is on a hot lap. Buckley up 4/10. Let's see, Aiden's up 2/10. We follow along with him. So 2/10 would put him into pole position through the final chicane. Looks like he's wavering on his time. Looks like he lost it, but he's going to make his way downhill. So we'll still ride along board with him and follow along to see where he's going to. What he's going to do is 22 is off the track. 22 is number 22. Who is number 22? Oh, Mr. Murphy's off the track in the second chicane. Here goes Hasbrook. He is making his way down the front straight. He does put the car onto pole position, but only 0.032 faster than Andrew Jaschke. Let's see, who else do we have? Ooh, looks like Buckley, Douglas, and Eric Howell were improving, but looks like they're not. Kevin Torrance was improving. We got Cole Bennett in the newer Audi. He's improving. He's up 4/10 coming out of that final chicane before the double left-hand turns onto the main straight. He's going to get a big, giant toe from Jamie Morrison, making his way down the hill, but at the same time, Jamie Morrison is setting his fast lap. As Cole Bennett's going to have to cover the brakes super early as they work their way through. Here where they go through around the final corner onto the main straight. Can Cole Bennett get the toe that he needs to put the car even further up? And did Jamie Morrison go fast enough to put his car up in front of him? Jamie Morrison slots to P18, 4.9 seconds off the pace. And Cole Bennett is sitting P13, 3.3. That is really tight. If the drivers are in the voice chat, definitely give a shout out to each other. And here we have Andrew Jaschke. He is up a 10th on the downhill piece as he makes his way up the hill. Text man, check your DMs. They will try to check him as soon as possible here. We have a race to commentate. I will work on it as we go through. Oh, I guess Tykesman can't race. He's a little bit of a foot pain. So he can't press down the accelerator. What a shame there. Definitely wish him the best for a future recovery. And I'll hope all is well on the other side of the pond. As Andrew Jaschke is making his way down the main straight. Does he improve? It doesn't look like on my Delta the time has progressed even better. It does not. Nope, he did not do anything. Regular looks like he was improving, but not really. Jamie Morrison is up 4/10 in that BMW. Ooh, and he loses the back end. Cole Bennett's going to have to back out of that one. Also, with 47 seconds to play, as Cole Bennett cuts the grass just a hair, it doesn't look like Jamie Morrison's still up 3/10. So 3/10 is going to slot him even closer to Mr. Murphy, the new driver in that Porsche number 22. And there's Reckler behind them, also trying to get a beautiful run onto the main straight. He's about a 10th off the pace. Aiden Hasbrook is up another 10th as he's trying to separate the field just to cover over with 15 seconds left to play here in this race for the qualifying session, I mean, as they go through. So right now we have their top 5 is Aiden Hasbrook, Andrew Jaschke, Reckler. Ooh, that was a weird way to stop right there. That is definitely going to ruin someone's race as they were coming through Sector 1 through the chicane. So here comes Hasbrook. He is up a 10th. He's got Azareth right in front of him. Who else is up? Brian Douglas is up a 10th. We'll be switching over to him here shortly. Definitely see as he's coming through the final corner. Does he get the acceleration that he needs out of that bend? Here he goes. Does he improve? It does not look like he improves. So he's going to be P9. Overall, Hasbrook P1 so far. Looks like Kevin Taranti's going to be sitting P17. Definitely have to keep an eye on the rest of the drivers as they're going around the track. Doesn't look like anybody else is improving around here. Let's see, Lane Xander. Front end is a little bit wiggly. Looks like he's stepping out of it. What about Flabbergaston as he's coming out on the main straight? Nope, he's going to be stepping out of that one. So both Lane Xander, Flabbergaston, and Josh Kimball. Oh, he is shot on that corner on the braking, and he lost it out right there. So that is the end of qualifying. Everybody, as we wait for the drivers that are going to sit out on the grid, and we're going to be going into the pre-race start of the race here. Let's see as we go through. Switch over to our leader. Aiden Hasbrook sitting P1 with Andrew Jaschke B2. Reckler P3. Xander 4. Ollie from Australia 5. Tristan San Luis 6. Gabriel 7th. Stefan Buckley number 8. Brian Douglas 9. Eric Howell 10. Cooper 11. Azraf Asmi 12. Daniel Rosso 13. Cole Bennett 14th. Josh Kimball 15th. James Park 16th. Kevin Trant 17th. Mr. Murphy, Andrew Murphy 18th, and Jamie Morrison 19th. And for the viewers that were watching, we were talking about the interesting thing that we wanted to bring up to you, and that is this Sunday, GTMR is going to be participating in the Grid Finder 3 Hours of Kailami. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That is the car that we will be racing in, the livery that we will be racing in. We will be racing in the brand new 2022 Audi R8 Evo 2 at Kailami. Um, Custom livery design was done by yours truly, Axia, myself. The team car number 1 will be piloted by Aiden Hasbrook and Lane Zander. And car number 2 is myself and Stefan Buckley. We will be taking the fight to the drivers in there, and we will definitely be having a stream in my POV at Kailami, so people will be able to see that. But, you know, we just want to let everybody know ahead of time that this Sunday there will be an endurance event, and we will be streaming it for anybody that would like to watch. So let's jump over to the league standings here and take a look at the championship fight. Lane Zander with 97 points with Aiden Hasbrook at 82, 15 point gap. So right now, Aiden Hasbrook's looking to take over the championship if Lane Zander can't keep it together here just at the start of the race. Andrew Jaschke on the outside looking in. He's P2 right now. He is 32 points back from Zander, but only 17 points back from Aiden Hasbrook. So this is definitely going to help him in the championship fight. Separating himself from Chrysler York, Brian Douglas is definitely separating himself from Bruce Hopkins and trying to jump Chrysler York. Brian Douglas is sitting P9, but Eric Howell with 52 points to a 60 sitting back there trying to make his way back in. Josh Kimball, Andrew Cooper, those two drivers are trying to get back up into the top 5 from the beginning of the season. Jamie Morrison definitely making his way in here. Peter LaFrance, AJ Silva definitely not there. Stefan Buckley can make a good showing. He's going to move up the grid as well. Huge sadness to Danny Tykes. He could have had the chance to, we understand that he is injured. He could have made his way up. Car 2 will suck as Xio's driver. Thanks Tykes. Thanks, man. You know what? I hope your foot doesn't feel better. That's kind of rude of me. As we follow everybody, Jeff Fleischman, as we were talking about him in the pre-qualifying session, definitely huge shout out to him and congratulations to him for having the kid. Peter David is out on a business trip, so we wish him all the best of luck. Tristan San Luis with 16 points. He's sitting P6 right now. Ollie's looking on the outside in. He's sitting P5 in this qualifying session, but he's sitting 20th in the point. So if he has a good showing, he'll definitely make his way up. Cole Bennett's definitely looking really good so far. As right now, as the drivers, you can hear in the background as I'm talking, the drivers are making their way around the track on their formation lap and trying to make something happen here. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one here at Imola. For those that have not watched the race, any of our races, it is a 1 hour race. 60 full minutes, 1 mandatory pit stop with tire change. The pit window opens up. Yes, there is a bit of a ghosting on the formation lap so that there isn't any damage for the drivers. Pit window opens up 10 minutes after the start and closes 10 minutes before the end of the race to allow the drivers to play around with strategies. We've seen some drivers push it all the way to about the last 10 minutes. We've seen drivers try to do the undercut by pitting super early and actually make it work effective. We've also seen other drivers just say, yeah, I'm not dealing with that, and pit whenever they want to pit. And it's usually about halfway through the race. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one to say the least as these drivers are making their way around here as they go into the middle section. It's definitely going to be a wonderful battle. So let's see who we got here. Is there a shout out for a driver that one of the viewers wants to see? You know I love you really, Axia. Well, thanks, Tykes, man. You know I love you about the same amount that I love my wife a lot. And that's just a huge shout out to my wife because she puts up with me. Greetings from Santa Fe. Sorry I missed. No, Chrysler. It is okay. You had work, and it's fully understandable. I wish you were here to see you take the championship fight in the battle towards Lane Zander. We wish you all the best in Santa Fe. Hopefully the weather is amazing there. As you can see, there's a huge mix-up of drivers here as we start to see them line up in the final 2 corners. Definitely an interesting startup. The normals that we've seen, Aiden Hasbrook and Andrew Jaschke on the front row. Lane Zander in that monster Mercedes definitely possibly going to try to make something happen there. So hopefully nobody gets a drive-through as we start to see the drivers line up here onto the main straight. Let's switch over to Helicam and watch this from the top. And you know what? Actually, I think the track view would be much better as we start to see them make their way down into turn 1. We'll switch it over to the camera view as we start to see them roll along. Tristan San Luis definitely going super slow at the start of the main straight. Here they go as they're about to cross the line. The long progressed wait. Green, 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 and here we go. Sanders making the look on the inside as he's trying to make it stick. Reckler has to check up right behind the Mercedes as we go into Helicam. 8.5. Oh, there's a tap. Zander goes super wide. Reckler goes in. Zander has to take the long way through the dirt. What a shame. He's going to lose out on more spots. Here comes Ollie making his way on 2 as we switch over to Buckley. Oh, come on. Switch over to the cars. Here we go. As we see Daniel Rosso, everybody is switching out here as we're waiting for the cycling of the race to go through. Tristan San Luis. So we're going to switch over to the camera. He's going to slot himself P4. Zander falls his way back all the way to P7 with a tap. What a shame there. Brian Douglas definitely making his way up here. Let's see, Buckley's up into P6. Let's see if Buckley can make it happen and stick. Ooh, Lane Zander, this is definitely going to hurt the championship overall. Let's see, does he have a whole lot of damage? As we see Asmi's covering up the inside. Lane Zander doesn't know what to do. Looks like Ollie loses out. Josh Kimball's going to have to try to make something stick. But because these guys are battling, Asmi does not have to give up the place. Zander's going to try it down on the inside. Zander super deep around the corner, catches the curb. Kimball goes as well. Same with Daniel Rosso. There's a huge battle here in the back of this group. As Flabbergaston Cooper makes his way on Cole Bennett down the back straight here in the double left-hand corners. See what he can do. Not a whole lot. I've been told by the other drivers I have to stop saying that, but not today. Eric Howell has lost it out. He's all the way in the back there. Something must have happened with his car, probably a spinella, as Tykesman likes to call it here. As we see Jamie Morrison, he's making his way on the inside of Kevin Tarrance. Kevin Tarrance is going to try to cover and make the move on the inside as well. Side by side, ooh, a little bit of tap of the nose. Jamie Morrison's trying to get back on the track safely as Andrew Cooper's making his way. Looks like Daniel Rosso goes off the track. Looks like Josh Kimball makes it past Yazra Asmi as they go through. Huge battle, spicing it up in the back as Reckler's made his way past Andrew Jaschke. He's definitely trying to take the pressure to Aiden Hasbrook here in the open stages of this race. Right now in constructors, it goes McLaren for BMWs, McLaren, BMW. So I can probably tell you what car is actually really good here at this race. And it seems to be the BMWs. As we go through, hey, Bestie 8612, for those that don't know, that's my wife. How are you? As we go through here in this race, let's take a look and see where the battles are battling it out. We know Lane Zander's definitely going to move up some. Oh, Lane Zander taps the back end of Gabriel. He's definitely feeling a little bit ferocious. We know he's got Gabriel in front of him and Brian Douglas here in this fight, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. And Andrew Cooper, he's made it. He's actually still, he's got Murphy in front or back. I don't know. The game's not updating it very fast. Looks like he's got Mr. Murphy in front of him as well. Andrew Murphy, as he's trying to take the fight here onto the main straight. Here they go. Azareth Asmi doesn't look, he looks like he's lost it in the final corner. What a shame. Here goes Andrew Cooper. He's going to try the outside as AJ Murphy's going to try the inside Porsche to McLaren. Let's see if Murphy matches him in the braking. He's not. He's going to let Cooper by. Definitely knows that his pace is not there with Cooper, so Cooper's going to keep trying to push to catch Jamie Morrison as Murphy goes a little bit wider to catch a little bit of the dirt. It's Chrysler. I said Chrysler. Yeah. Meister York. Here we go. Let's see. What is the other closest battle we have? Lane Xander, 4/10 back from Gabriel. Gabriel's 4/10 back from Douglas. Andrew Jaschke's just fallen off the pace on these top two runners of Hasbrook and Reckler. Those both have separated themselves. Lane Xander he is off the pace for himself. Looks like he must have taken a lot of damage. He is still over the back end of Gabriel as he's going to try to look at the move on the inside. Is he going to make it stick over the curve? Ooh, that is definitely on Xander right there, trying to make the turn happen, and it definitely, so he's now going to have to wait for the whole entire grid to go by. So that's definitely going to hurt his championship. So now he's got the damage on the front end of his car, and now he's going to have to try to make his way back up the grid. What a shame there as we slot back down. Now that's going to give Josh Kimball a beautiful move up to the spot as Daniel Rosso is still trying to hunt him down in that Porsche. As we see this all develop here, this is definitely looking good for Josh Kimball. We definitely knew he had a little bit of a pace performance issue here at Imola, but he is definitely moving it up and is definitely making something happen. It is definitely not Lane Xander's race here. As we see Josh Kimball going through his 1, 2, 3, and 4 here with Daniel Rosso on the back end of him. So let's take a look through the grid and see where everybody is placed out. As we see Cole Bennett in the back there with Kevin Tarrant in that Ferrari, and then Flabbergasted and Cooper trying to chase down Jamie Morrison in that BMW. So let's take a look. Who do we have? Reckler is still all over the back of Hasbrook. He's still trying to make something happen here, and they're just not giving up. They are nose to tails here for the opening start, and we're only 7 minutes in on this race. Here we go. Looks like Mr. Murphy is sitting ahead of Asmi. Hasbrook is still trying to make it work all as well. As we go through, let's see Cole Bennett. He is now 2/10 up. Let's switch over to him in that Audi. He's all over the back end of Kevin Tarrant. Kevin Tarrant is going to cover the inside. Can Cole Bennett make it stick in the Audi? He's going to probably try to do a switchback to make a move. Kevin Tarrant covers it very well. Cole Bennett's going to have to check up on the brakes and slide out of that turn. As we see Reckler, he's still 4/10 back from Aiden, but he sets the new fast lap. As we go through, so he's 6/10 back. Andrew Jaschke is Andrew Cooper. Flabbergasted Cooper shoots it super wide. Jamie Morrison could have fought it back, but he doesn't. He lets him through based on overall performance. And there's Lane Xander from 3rd to 14th. Lane Xander definitely trying to play the recovery race here at Imola. He's probably going to have to pit early, try to repair most of that damage and take the fight ahead of him as he goes up. Let's see who else we have here in the overall fight as Reckler still 4/10 back on Hasbrook, trying to make something happen as they make their way down the hill here at Imola. This is a beautiful corner because you're kind of dragging the brakes a little bit as you're going through the bend. And then you kind of coming to a stop, but you're not really. It just feels like you are because you're carrying so much speed into that corner. Such a beautiful corner. As we still have Cole Bennett all over the back of Kevin Tarrant. So we're going to switch back over to that. I apologize for all the quick switches, but right now we have a three-way battle as we have Cole Bennett, Kimball, and Andrew Cooper here in this fight. Kimball is definitely trying to separate himself from Cole Bennett. We see Kevin Tarrant is in front of him, so the two Ferrari drivers trying to separate themselves as much as possible. Here comes Jamie Morrison and Lane Xander. Looks like Lane Xander's pushing Jamie Morrison to go faster. So what a beautiful battle that these drivers are having in the mid-pack as Aiden Asper since the fastest lap and separated himself from Reckler. So that's definitely going to help him in this fight overall. Deep on the brakes, looks like Kimball is taking the same lines as Kevin Tarrant. Ooh, Cole Bennett loses the back end just a little bit. Kimball catches the dirt. So these few mistakes are definitely going to help out Andrew Cooper to catch up to them as they go onto the main straight. Here comes Cole Bennett. He's going to try to get a beautiful run on Kimball. Kimball's going to cover the inside. Who's going to break late as they go down into turn 1? Here they go. Kimball's on the brakes, gives a little bit of squeeze. Cole Bennett has to check out. But can Cole Bennett make the run back? No, he catches a little bit of the curbs. Andrew Cooper's now going to get the run on him. As they come up to the second chicane, Andrew Cooper had to check out of it a little bit. But Cole Bennett's definitely... Ooh, there's a little bit of a tap. Didn't set the car off too much as they both went into the dirt. A little bit of a tap there from Andrew Cooper, unsettling the Audi of Cole Bennett there in that second chicane. Here they go, and it looks like Lane Zander is just falling back. It looks like the damage is not helping him overall with the turns there. And the pit window is open, ladies and gentlemen. The pit window is open, so time to see what drivers are going to dive into the pits. As we see Cole Bennett, the cycling thing is now starting to adjust for his fallback there. As Josh Kimball is still 0.6 back. Andrew Jaschke's fallen 2.3 seconds to Reckler, and the front two is now Reckler set the fastest lap, and Tristan St. Louis is about 8.8 seconds back from them. But Buckley's having a beautiful race, sitting there P5. What an amazing battle that he has. We follow along. Hopefully Cole Bennett can get a nice run on Cooper. Now Cooper's all over the back of Josh Kimball. Josh Kimball trying to make something happen here onto this main straight. He needs Kevin Tarrant in front of him to get that toe. As we see Azareth Azmi's trying not to get into the way of the drivers. Hopefully he can make it smooth and easy for these drivers as they come into turn one. As Azareth just on the curbing, and that's going to cause a bit of an issue going into turn one, especially where to stop. It's Kevin Tarrant. Ooh, whoa! Definitely not something you want to see into turn one, as the drivers have a little bit of a pile up there. What a shame. Jamie Morrison's going to have to check out of that. He's the biggest loser. Same with Kevin Tarrant. And it looks like Andrew Cooper lost a lot of pace in there due to that braking right into that corner. If it was me and I was falling back, I would have slowed down onto the main straight rather than leaving up there. So that's now going to give Andrew Cooper Josh Kimball a little bit of breathing room, but now he's got damage on that front bumper and on that rear bumper, which with the arrow for the Ferrari, that's going to mess up a lot as we start to see Josh Kimball lose the back and he starts power sliding. He is now a sponsor for Pirelli as he's carrying that sign. Now here comes Kevin Tarrant. He's going to try the outside. The question now is, how long will that sign stay on the inside of Josh Kimball's car, which is definitely going to be an interesting one. How much is that actually going to affect other drivers as we see Azareth Azmi dive into the pits, and same with Eric Howley. He's going to serve his pits. And that sign has been thrown out, and here comes Kevin Tarrant around the outside. And here we have Ali. Ooh, looks like Josh Kimball is still racing. He's still feeling it with his car. Around they go. Kimball dives into the pit. Kevin Tarrant onto the main straight. Ali and Zander, they're going to freight train the three drivers side by side on the outside. Ali's going to try something. Does he have the run? How racy is Lane Zander feeling here in that Mercedes-Benz? He's covering the brakes against Ali, and he's possibly going to make it stick, giving him enough space to make it around. He definitely makes it stick around Ali, so Ali definitely trying to get it to happen against Kevin Tarrant, and he can't make it stick. Definitely looking super strong. Ooh, Ali goes super wide. That's going to allow Jamie Morrison to work his way up. Andrew Jaschke just kind of staying on the outside in to make his way up, but it doesn't look like he's really making any more performances. Reckler's kept it down to about 8/10 on the time against Aiden Hasbrock, with Tristan St. Louis completely falling off the pace at 11.9 from the top three. As we see Ali and Jamie Morrison definitely trying to reel in as much as they can. Looks like Josh Kimball's probably going to serve all the damage that he can to get it going. What a shame there for Josh Kimball. You know, wrong car, wrong time. as they make their way down. Here comes Lane Xander. He is all over the back of Kevin Tarrant. This is for a P10 position. Lane Xander is right now in recovery mode with 35 minutes left of the pit window, 45 minutes of the full race. I'm going to retire from the race. A1 Wolf 21 says, I'm going to retire from the race. I have too much grip to even make any progress. What a shame there for the race. Definitely would have loved to have seen you continue. As we see Kevin Tarrant, he dives into the pits, part of some of the new beginning runners. He's probably going to try to go for the undercut to make it stick. Now let's talk about the newer drivers here in the race. We've talked about the drivers who have been in the league so far as we're starting to see everything battle it out. Let's see, Gabriel, he's sitting there in P7 in that BMW on the outside looking in of Brian Douglas, trying to chase them down. So Brian Douglas is definitely going to have to put his foot down and push as much as we start to see Reckler has made his way past Aiden Hasbrook. Definitely did not see that happen here for the lead of the race, and I apologize for the viewers. It's definitely something that we should have kept our eyes on, and looks like he possibly may have caught the curb, but Aiden Hasbrook is now all over the back of the BMW driver of Reckler as we go through the first chicane. Here they go. That BMW looking nice and tight, trying to cover all the entrances of the track so the McLaren of Aiden Hasbrook can't make something happen on him as they go through. Let's see, where do we have any other closer battles? Gabriel has now brought it into Brian Douglas. We're going to switch over to that real quick. About the same distance. The game was telling me like 4/10 at one time. As we see Hasbrook now 4/10 back from Reckler. Nose to tail as they go through the downhill section as he's making his way on the uphill section. Can he make something happen? I will try my best to progress more in the final race. Well, you are doing amazing. I feel like you've progressed from the beginning of the season till now. You are doing a wonderful job. Wonderful, wonderful job. We just need to work on track awareness to help you progress even better. But overall, I think you're doing wonderful. You're going to do great. As we see Jamie Morrison, he's dove into the pits. Now, is that going to help him out with Kevin Tarrant? Or is it going to allow him, is it going to make him fall back, lose some spots? On the main straight to go. Question is Aiden going to send it or at all down the front straight? And it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's going to... looks like... I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Just trying to read the Twitch chat as I am streaming here, everything like that. As we go through, Hasbrook still 3/10 back as he's making away. Gabriel 7/10 back from Brian Douglas. Definitely nose to tail these drivers. Aiden is definitely getting furious. He is trying to make something happen here as they make their way up the hill. Ali still 8/10 back from Lane Xander. He's still trying to make his way. Aiden Hasbrook definitely showing the performance that he can in that McLaren, and he is definitely looking super strong in that McLaren, and around the few bends he goes. Up the hills, let's see what he can do. He's going to try the inside. Reckler covers the inside. Aiden tries the outside. Reckler covers the outside. Heavy on the brakes. Here they go. Ooh, Jamie Morrison gets a drive-through. What a shame there. It does not help him out at all through here. But he can possibly get ahead of James Parks as we see Lane Xander. He is now pitting back in that P12 as Hasbrook super late on the brakes as they go through onto the front straight. This race is developing beautifully as they go through here for the drivers. As we see Stefan Buckley, who is going to be around Stefan Buckley? I'm trying to figure out the driver who is around him. We definitely see number 15 is, looks like we lost a driver, Josh Kimball. What a shame there. as Hasbrook is now falling back. He tried to run nose to tail, but now Andrew Jaschke has closed the gap in. He is definitely trying to reel him in. He's now 2 seconds off the pace. Hasbrook has let off the throttle here as they start to see Gabriel now 9/10 back. Looks like Andrew Murphy, he was off the track there, number 22, and yes, he was. He was off the track, allowing the drivers by. You don't really have to get off the track, just get off into a spot that's definitely helpful for the other drivers. As they go through, we have a yellow, and looks like Murphy is... Oop, he teleported to the pits. Looks like he possibly had a little bit of damage on his car. As looks like the McLaren is just chewing up the tires right now, and he's just falling off the pace. He's got the BMW all over the back end of him. As they come through, Gabriel now 8/10 back from Brian Douglas as he's trying to reel him in as well. As they go through, now let's keep an eye on some of the other drivers. Gabriel 8/10 back. He's got Daniel Rosso. Buckley 1.3 from Tristan San Luis for number 4. Aiden Hasbrook definitely not making it. He's now falling back. Looks like Reckler was holding a lot back in the bag. Decided to punch it and just let it hammer down here in this race and step his way away from Aiden Hasbrook. But here comes Andrew Jaschke as he is trying to make it stick and get past Aiden Hasbrook through the first corner. Aiden Hasbrook is just driving a little bit reckless, like his car is just completely falling off the pace. But it doesn't look like he's got a lot of damage on that car at all. Let's see the back end of it as he's going through. No, he doesn't have a lot of damage. I think he's just eating up the tires a lot, and he's just falling back. Now here comes P3, so this is definitely not going to help the overall championship fight because Lane Zander had to pay. He's sitting P12. So that's going to give him about 8 points. Hasbrook knows this is enough to get him over the hump and closer to Lane Zander. But if Jaschke can get past him, this is not going to help him in the overall championship fight. This is actually going to put Jaschke even closer in the championship fight. As now we are going to jump along board Gabriel as he's now reeled himself 3/10 into Brian Douglas, and it seems like the McLarens are falling off pace midway through this race, and they just cannot keep the performance going here in this series. And it's super interesting to see because the McLarens were super strong at the start of the race, but now Team BMW is definitely showing what they can possibly do here in this race. See what Gabriel can do as he comes through this chicane and on the downhill part. Well, it doesn't look like he gets a beautiful run. You know, as you watch and you commentate this, you start to see as if it's almost like if the car is getting a run and then all of a sudden you're like, it's getting a run. And no, it's not getting a run. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Stefan Buckley, the first driver in the front of the pack going into the pits. So definitely see where he's going to file out and file back in while these other drivers in the front start to pit and everything like that as they go through. So, but we see Jamie Morrison still is yet to serve his drive-through, so definitely interesting. Ooh, Gabriel gets a beautiful run out of that first chicane. Brian Douglas covers the inside. Gabriel covers the outside. Adequate amount of space. Brian Douglas is going to try to make it stick through that chicane, and he runs it super wide, and he does make it stick. But now Gabriel is going to have the outside. Brian Douglas is going to try to cover the inside. Up the hill they go. Ooh, it looks like Jamie Morrison's going to serve his drive-through. Stefan Buckley's going to come out. It looks like it's going to be in front of Andrew Cooper in that P11 spot. Looks like Andrew Jaschke and Aiden Hasbrook have kind of stalemated in their race as they have not progressed anymore. About 1.5 seconds separations from the two. As this is the closest battle we have on the track is Gabriel trying to make something happen around Brian Douglas in that McLaren. Ryan Douglas with a superb defense against Gabriel as they're racing. As they go through, it looks like Murphy served his time into the pits to repair his car, but the question is he still coming out? He does come out. Looks like he's going to take the pits later in the race. Looks like he had a lot of damage. Good on you for continuing the race as much as you possibly can. And it looks like Jamie Morrison has exited out due to the fact of the drive-through. What a shame there. You could have kept the battle going, as Eric Howell is now 4/10 back from Kevin Tarrant here, the Aston Martin driver here at GTMR. Now over the back end of the Ferrari. Can he make it stick? See, down into turn 1. Looks like the Aston Martin driver is going to try to make it happen. Kevin Tarrant gets the better end of the stick on the bargaining tool here as they get out of the corner. And they're going to have, looks like, is that Daniel Rosso? Yeah, it's Daniel Rosso right in front of them in the actual normal championship series. So right now we have a fight of the back markers and the front battle of the front markers, because now we also have Ollie, who is getting attacked by Cole Bennett, who is right behind him as well as they make their way up the hill. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one for Daniel Rosso as these drivers make their way up the hill. These drivers are definitely not, Daniel Rosso's definitely not being blue flagged. Daniel Rosso's P7 in this battle already, as we have 12 and 13 making their way down this hill. See Eric Howell, can he make something stick? As we now see, as we switch off, Gabriel has fallen back to about a second off the pace. Aiden Hasbrook has stepped it and made up about a second on Reckler, and Andrew Jaschke has fallen back to a second. So everybody's times keep flipping around during the battles of these drivers here, as we now see Ollie and Cole Bennett on the outside looking in. We still have close to about halfway of the race to go through, and 23-minute pit window. Ooh, and there goes Howell. Howell just completely lost the back end and sent his car into the wall. Andrew Cooper is going to get a run on him, and this one is going to be for position, and Eric Howell can't do anything. Andrew Cooper is going to try to go for the inside, and Eric Howell is just going to have to let that position go, as he's got the damage. He's already served his pit. He's better off just fighting it out and just sticking with it. What a shame there for him as this race is developing. We're going to jump right back up to the front of this race as we see Aiden Hasbrook. He is diving into the pits, and Andrew Jaschke is just going to keep his run of the luck going. As we jump back down with Cole Bennett, look like, and Eric Howell, as we look like that battle with Andrew Jaschke and Aiden Hasbrook was developing a little bit more, but it wasn't. So here we go for P13, everybody. Eric Howell definitely trying to make something happen now after he ruined his race at the start of it with that Aston Martin all over the back end. He's been practicing trail braking, and he's had a little bit of an issue the back end of other people's cars. So hopefully he can make his way around this track without tapping the back end of Andrew Cooper. Into the braking zone they go. Ooh, Andrew Cooper gets it a little bit wrong and runs a little bit of the curb, but that acceleration of that mid-engine McLaren allows him to pull himself out of that corner and extend the lead. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, the front podium roll is 3 BMWs, Reckler, Andrew Jaschke, and Tristan San Luis as they get on the main straight. Here goes the Red Bull. So we start to see everything develop as he's got a beautiful run on Andrew Cooper now. He's got the line to line himself up on the inside. Ooh, as they both break match, Andrew Cooper gets a good turn in on Eric Howell as he separates himself. Ooh, that definitely put a stinger on him, as now we're going to jump up to Ollie, as Ollie is, ooh, commentator curses, Ollie loses it. Now that's going to have to allow the drivers by, and here comes Kevin Tarrant all over the back end of Ollie But we have Cole Bennett, Aiden Hasbrock, and Daniel Rosso. This is all a battle for position as we switch over to Daniel Rosso, as he's going to have an Audi and a very fast McLaren all over the back end of him as they make their way down the hill. The question is how much can Cole Bennett hold back Aiden Hasbrock as they make their way through this track here with 30 minutes left to play, 20 minutes left on the pit rotation as Reckler's in the pits, Jaschke's in the pits, Tristan San Luis stays out. So Hasbrook is coming down on the back end, and we do not see, looks like, okay, Reckler is still in his pit box. Same with Andrew Jaschke, 14-15. Aiden Hasbrock makes his way around Cole Bennett, and now he's on to Daniel Rosso. Reckler shows that he is green on the pit strategy. Here comes Aiden. He's going to have this massive tow. Reckler should be coming out of the pit rotation right now. He will still be leading the race. Yep, there he is right in front as Aiden goes on the inside of Daniel Rosso, and he's going to make it stick. Cole Bennett's on the outside looking in on that one. It looks like Andrew Jaschke still is in the pits. Like he definitely lost out in that one. Looks like he was possibly serving some damage here through this race. So shame there. Ooh, Jaschke gets a 30-second stop go. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. So now that's going to help Lane Xander move his way up the grid even more as Ali is now into the pits. So we have Tristan San Luis, Gabriel, and Brian Douglas, the top three who have yet to pit. Daniel Rosso and Cole Bennett, who are right now nose to tail, who have not pitted as well. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one to see how they all play out in this battle. Daniel Rosso is doing a wonderful job keeping up with Aiden Hasbrock through the track here during this race. As we see Eric Howell, he slotted himself up to P13 now with Andrew Cooper right behind him. As Gabriel now is in the pits. So it's going to be an interesting one because he's now dove into the pits. How's that going to affect the other drivers that are in the lead of the race of Tristan San Luis? He's making his way up. So if he pits, that's 30 seconds for the pit plus the actual pit lane. So that's, I don't know, probably like 50 seconds. So he's probably going to come out around P8, around there, give or take a few positions. As we go through to see who's the closest battle so far that we have. Looks like Eric Howell, number 13. Yep, he's got Kevin Tarrance in front of him. Looked like Cooper lost out. Ooh, Kevin Tarrance loses it. Now that's going to allow Cooper to make his way up on Kevin Tarrance here in this battle. Down into the hairpin they go. And they make their way up. Looks like Andrew Jaschke's going to serve his 30-second stop go. Lane Xander's P10. Oh, Gabriel gets a 30-second stop go. Oh, what a shame there. Kevin Tarrance runs super wide. Andrew Cooper right behind him. My question is when is Brian Douglas and Tristan San Luis going to pit? There's 16 minutes left of this pit window. 26 minutes left of this race. When are the top two going to pit? The Andrew Cooper's trying to make something happen on the outside, but Kevin Tarrance covers the inside. Andrew Cooper has to check his brakes up. Daniel Rosso gets a 30-second stop go. These drivers are getting stop and goes like Oprah gives away presents. Here they go, 15 minutes left of the pit window, 25 of the race. Kevin Tarrance goes super wide, catches the dirt. Andrew Cooper is going to allow himself to get past. Cole Bennett dives into the pits. He saw Daniel Rosso gets a 30 seconds, so hopefully Cole Bennett didn't get hit with a 30-second stop go through in this race. Reckler now has the fastest lap. Aiden Hasbrock 3.6 seconds off the pace of Reckler. as we now see Kevin Trons all over the back end of Andrew Cooper. This is the closest battle we have, ladies and gentlemen, in the race is the man from New Zealand, Kevin Trons, taking the battle to Andrew Cooper. Let's see. Will Cole Bennett get a 30-second stop goal? I do not wish it on anybody, but that is the question. We have now had 4 of them, and it seems like this is just helping Lane Xander overall move up this championship fight. Andrew Jaschke was on the outside looking in, got a 30-second stop go. Here goes Kevin Trons. He is losing it out. Looks like Cooper's just pulling out just a little bit more, ever so slightly as they go through. Cole Bennett has served his stop. Let's see, where's Cole Bennett? He's making his way. He's about to cross that line in the pit lane. Does he get a 30-second stop go? He does not. Ooh, he's able to pull away, slide himself into P6 so far in this race. The championship fight so far, that is a different picture. This is definitely going to help him as the two 30-second stop go drivers are serving it right now, but that means Daniel Rosso will be able to make something happen when he comes out. He was definitely looking super racy and super fast. Now let's see, we have 13 minutes left to play in the pit window strategy, and the top 2 still have yet to pit. So that's going to be an interesting one. Let's see where Gabriel is. Gabriel's still into the pits. He's coming down. Oh, he reset to track? Reset to his pit. Oh, he's disqualified. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Did he not? That is an interesting one. So we see Daniel Rosso. He's came out to the track. Was he going? I think he was possibly going too fast on the pit lane. I think so. It's interesting one. That's definitely going to be an interesting one. I'll have to check into the Discord to see what happens. As now we are going to jump aboard Aiden Hasbrock, as he has now reeled himself into Reckler. As we see Brian Douglas has dove into the pits, but is not going to help him with the charging of Aiden Hasbrock. And where is it? Not Stefan Buckley and Sahin Reckler onto the front straight. So they're going to get the wonderful tow over the 2 drivers as they make their way down. Can Hasbrook win this? Xander is P6, so this is going to help him in his points. He's 15 points ahead. Tristan San Luis still needs to pit. Douglas still needs to pit. Oh, Douglas is done with the pit. Up the hill they go. Ollie is sitting 6/10 back from Jaschke. As they come through the downhill. Aiden is definitely making something happen. Now we're going to switch over to Ollie with Andrew Jaschke, but it seems like Ollie is getting separated from, Jaschke. There they are, in the back there, as the leaders have made their way past that grid so far as they go through. And Tristan San Luis is in the pit. So where is Brian Douglas? That is going to be the battle for that P3 spot here. But where is Stefan Buckley? Buckley's on the downhill, making his way up the hill. Douglas is just coming out of the hairpin on the uphill, about to make his way on the downhill part of the track, as there's 2 downhill parts. So the first downhill part, as Aiden Hasbrock and Reckler both pass the front straight. Reckler with a 142.6. Aiden with a 142.7. Those are both their fast laps. Last lap by Reckler with a 143.3. Hasbrook with a 142.952. So right now Hasbrook is flying right behind Reckler as they're making their way through. And here we see Tristan San Luis. Now let's jump aboard Buckley. Douglas is not. So Buckley, let's see where Buckley's at. Ooh, here they go. Side by side. Buckley gets him on the straight. So right now, Tristan San Luis is going to have to make something happen. Buckley's going to slot himself into the P3 spot so far in this race. He is looking super racy. He was a little bit nervous about wanting to race, but yes, Teichman, the driver who was disqualified, did have a 30-second stop and go, but I believe he served it, unless he was trying to go. If he was trying to race without it, then like not stopping, I believe you get disqualified. But if you stop, which I thought he did to serve it, yeah, so definitely going to be an interesting one, to say the least. So let's just jump back up on board of Aiden Hasbrock and Reckler as these two nose to tail on the front straight. Now it looks to be Cole Bennett in front of them. It is Cole Bennett in front of them as these two guys are just battling it out. Let's see if these two guys just move out. Let's see if Cole Bennett moves out of the way for these two drivers here in the race. I would just be like, yeah, you two can go. I'll just watch from here and not get in the way of the leaders of this race. Let's see. Beautiful pace, beautiful lines of both drivers as they go through. Cole Bennett slows up. What a wonderful performance. That's going to give Aiden the chance to get the beautiful reel into the hairpin. On up the hill they go. Around the bend, down the hill. Man, this battle is just developing. Reckler kind of separated himself from as they waited up. Cole Bennett now goes back around. Aiden being very respectful, who backed out of it and allowed the drivers to go back through. You know, because he knew he messed up. Now here goes Reckler. We definitely know that Cole Bennett and the two leaders are not battling for position. Now Cole Bennett's trying to make something happen. He's trying not to get into the way, but he knows he's got Andrew Jaschke right behind him, and that is for position. And here goes Aiden Hasbrook as he makes a squeeze through. So now Andrew Jaschke, oh, he just got the benefit of the bunch. He got past Cole Bennett, so that's going to allow that to happen. What a shade there for Cole Bennett. He was just trying to let the leaders by and left the door enough open to allow Andrew Jaschke to get through. But now Aiden Hasbrook is going to have to step it up here against Reckler. Jaschke's going to know that he's going to want to try to get a lap back possibly, but he doesn't want to intrude on Aiden Hasbrook's performance here in the race, but he knows if he follows Aiden Hasbrook, he can get the massive toe to separate himself from Cole Bennett. As you see Ollie now in the distance, trying to, as we see Andrew Jaschke yeet himself off the screen into that chicane. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I'd love to hear about what happened with that one. Hopefully a flat tire. That'd be interesting. We haven't heard about those very often. And here is Ollie on the back end of Andrew Jaschke. As they make their way up the hill. The Lexus driver from Australia is looking super good and super well in performance. So hopefully Murphy stops for his pit, because he's definitely going to be needing it here shortly. He's got 6 minutes left to play and about 16 minutes left of the window. Thank you for the follow, Miss Wendy Godsek. Oh, you've subscribed. Thank you very much for the subscription. As we see Ollie making his way through, it looks like he fell off just a little bit, but that's okay. He can still make something happen if he can catch up to Cole Bennett in the end, towards the end of the race, as we switch over to Aiden Hasbrock and Reckler, as these two guys are still battling it out onto the front straight that they go. See what they can do. Tristan St. Louis looks like he's about a second back from Stefan Buckley. So we're going to quickly jump over there. They are nose to tail, these drivers. They want the P3. They can smell the podium as they go through. Andrew Jaschke is caught back up with Cole Bennett. But right now, the battle we are watching are the two BMWs of Stefan Buckley. For those that don't know, he is 70 years old, and he is a wonderful person to meet and to talk to. Definitely a true inspiration as a driver to talk to here in the sim racing community, as Tristan St. Louis is going to try something on the inside as they go through side by side. Here we go. Who's going to get the better brakes? Looks like Stefan Buckley broke early. Tristan St. Louis went for the later option, but Buckley's going to try to get the run on them as they make their way up. Buckley on the inside, Tristan St. Louis on the out. As they come back through here, they go through the second chicane. Side by side, Tristan St. Louis closes the door, but that's going to allow Buckley to get the better run. Luis has to check the brakes a little bit more. St. Louis falls back behind just a bit as they go through the hairpin. Up the hill they go. Buckley trying to make something happen on the back end. Tristan St. Louis on the outside looking in, puts himself P3 as they go through. Let's see what happens. Buckley gets a better run, doesn't catch a bunch of the rumble strips, so that's going to allow him to exit out a lot faster on the downhill section. Here goes Buckley, looking nice and smooth and tidy. Ooh, see the suspension bouncing a little bit on Tristan St. Louis's car as they make their way up the hill. Hasbrock still 5/10 back from Reckler, trying to make it stick. Cooper now 6/10 back from Eric Howell in that P10 spot. Sanders made himself way back up to 6 after falling back to the back of the grid after the massive damage in the collision he had in the beginning of the race as they go through. Ooh, side by side. Can Buckley get a run on Tristan St. Louis as they go through? It doesn't look like he can. As we ride along board, let's see where Ollie is. Ollie is 4/10 back from Cole Bennett, so this race is developing beautifully. As we see Buckley, he gets a good run out of the hole here, and he is getting a better hole. And they have Eric Howell in front of him, a driver who is sitting P11 so far in the championship fight. Buckley definitely did not want to be racing the BMW, but he came back and decided to race the BMW with us. He's definitely hoping for next season where he can go race the new Audi Evo V2. As Murphy dives into the pits going for the super late strategy with 2 minutes left to play to finally do his tire rotation. What an awesome strategy there. Haven't seen a driver yet this season go for the super late last minute pit stop rotation. We go up the hill, side by side. Here they go. Ooh, Buckley's definitely on the outside looking in. Can't make something stick. Right now we're going to jump over with Ollie real quick. He was showing that he was super close to Cole Bennett when they were about 3/10 back, but the timing had readjusted it to where the drivers lost out a little bit, as doesn't seem like Ollie is really making up a whole lot of pace there. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to jump back over with Buckley and Tristan St. Louis as they make their way down the main straight, and there is Eric Howell. So Eric Howell being a back marker, he is definitely going to have to move out of the way for these drivers at some point and try to make it happen and be smooth about it, because definitely doesn't want to get into the way of anybody else's race as well as himself. But if he moves out of the way, is definitely going to help. He can help Tristan St. Louis, or he can help out Buckley by allowing Buckley to get a better run on Tristan St. Louis as Buckley gets super late into the corners as they make their way up the hill. BMWs are definitely looking super smooth. Doesn't look like Aiden Hasbrook has really made up a whole lot of time to Reckler. Reckler's kept it about an 8-10 split on Hasbrook, and it's just made him kind of just sit there and stay at bay. So Aiden's probably just thinking to himself, you know, I got all the points I need. I don't really need to push it any further than what I need to push. So they're going to keep the separation. Tristan San Luis getting a run on, on Howell. He had to check up on the back end. Howell's going to let those two drivers go through as the battle insinuates for the top podiums, for the P3 podium spot as they work their way down the hill. As they go through, definitely not the race Howell wanted. We definitely know that he had made a mention through the drivers meeting that he was going to take a break after the season, and that's okay. He said he wanted to go hit up more IPAs and ride his motorcycle around a little bit more, so I wish the Harley friend much luck. As we see Murphy coming out of the pits, definitely looking nice with that Porsche as we go through. Buckley still all over the back end of Tristan San Luis. Hasbrook's now falling back a little bit more to Reckler. And here they go, 3 and 4. Through the chicane. See, Tristan San Luis gets a little bit of a wide run as they go through here. Through the hairpin piece. Give you a different screen other than a tree as they work their way up the hill. Heavy on the brakes, and around the bend they go. Down the hill they go. For those that are watching and would like to join, please join us on Discord, as well as check us out on YouTube. It'd be greatly appreciated to have all of you guys join in and race. It'd definitely be an interesting time as well, and to have all the new viewers here watching and racing with us, as well as you can also check out with our YouTube. We will be posting up our prior races onto the site to allow you guys to check out the battle and see yourself battling out later on in the races here. As we watch Buckley still 5/10 back, trying to make his way up the grid here on Tristan San Luis. You can see the podium. The man was riddled with a lot of issues, but now he's managed to claw his way back up to a very good finish here at Imola. As we see Murphy dive back into the pits. What a shame there. As we see Ollie, he is now 5/10 back from Cole Bennett in that Audi. Definitely an interesting one to see and where he is going to be setting himself up there. Around the bend they go. Can Buckley make it happen? He's all over the back end of Tristan San Luis. But right now, let's just take a quick jump over to Ollie and see where he's sitting. He is also all over the back end of Cole Bennett as he makes the super late lunge break on Cole Bennett, and he's going to lose out big time there with Cole Bennett. Now we're going to switch back over with Buckley as he's making his way down the hill. BMW against BMW as they go around the bends. See what happens here. He hasn't been able to make something stick. Andrew Cooper now is going to be in front of him. So the question is, how easy is Andrew Cooper going to allow them through so that this battle can continue, and will it be a winner versus loser situation here as they come down into the double left-hand turn before the main straight. Beautiful run onto the main straight they go. Does Tristan San Luis get a beautiful run and a toe from Andrew Cooper? It does not look like it, as the blue flags are now out for Andrew Cooper here in this race. Down into turn 1, 2, 3, and 4, I believe, that complex. As they go through here, Buckley gets a beautiful run, but he loses it out. Tristan seems to be covering his brakes a little bit more. So we start to see Aiden Hasbrook. He's now fallen off the pace of Reckler, 2.8 seconds. Cooper goes super wide. He's trying to leave enough space to allow 3 and 4 through, and he does. Both 3 and 4 trying to make their way up the hill as they go. Cooper on the outside looking in, trying to keep up with them to try to get a nice toe as they go through. Here they go. Rosso now 8/10 back from James Park. Ooh, looks like he made his way around James Park there, ladies and gentlemen. We have 5 minutes left to play in this race. Looks like Andrew Murphy did not serve his pit. Oh, he must have forgot to take tires. What a shame there. We're right along now. This battle is insinuating. We will be soon switching over to see where the leaders are at and also following along board with them. Before the end of this race, as we have 4 minutes and 39 seconds left to play here in this race, and Buckley has just been all over the back of Tristan St. Louis this whole entire race. It's like Buckley gets a beautiful run, but Tristan St. Louis has been able to cover on him on the brakes. It doesn't seem like he can really make anything stick as they go through here. Ooh, Tristan St. Louis makes an issue. Buckley goes on the outside. Tristan has covered the inside, and around the corner they go, the hairpin. Up the hill they go. Tristan St. Louis, they both get a bit of a wiggle out of the corner, but Tristan, side by side they go. Here they go up the hill. Nobody giving anybody space. Buckley has to succeed, but Tristan St. Louis goes wide. Buckley goes on the inside, gets the move down the hill. They go. Buckley closes the door on him and it makes it into the spot. We still have 3 minutes left to play, but can Tristan get that third place back? Buckley definitely looking super strong. We know Tristan's going to want to make a move here, probably later than never. Through the final chicane onto the downhill. Ooh, Buckley loses the back. Tristan is going to make it squeeze around the outside. That curbing just bit off Buckley's chances for this P3, but with 3 minutes left to play, they still have about 1 lap to go. Technically, no, 2 laps to go because they haven't been lapped here in this race. As Buckley now gets a beautiful run on Tristan, he's going to try to make something stick here. Onto the front straight they go. Here they go. Across the line. Aiden Hasbrook still 2.7 seconds back from Reckler. Buckley looking from the outside. Is he going to try to break super early? He's not. He's going to just try to get the run. Tristan St. Louis looks like he broke late and let Buckley through here for this battle as they make their way through up to the second chicane here at Imola as they go through here. Buckley definitely covering the inside. Tristan St. Louis gets a beautiful run as he's working his way up on the back end of them as they come up to the hairpin, working their way up the hill. Here goes Tristan St. Louis. 2 minutes left to play. Both BMWs looking super racy. Huge shout out to Brian Douglas sitting P5. Tristan St. Louis seems to be falling back like he's lost a lot of pace to Stefan Buckley. Either he's running out of fuel or he just doesn't have what it takes to take the fight to Buckley here in the race. Definitely was sitting in front of him through the chicane, probably lost it in the braking zone and didn't want to ruin his race here. But huge shout out to Brian Douglas sitting P5 in that McLaren ahead of Lane Zander. Andrew Jaschke, definitely nice recovery drive with him with that 30-second stop go. He's sitting P7. If it wasn't the case, Andrew Jaschke would be sitting on the pole. But looks like possibly Andrew Jaschke is, where is he? Is he 5/10 off Lane Zander? No, he's not. But we have Kevin Tarrant's all over the back end of Lane Zander here in this race. He's trying to use Lane Zander as a really nice toe to separate himself from some of the other drivers here. So we switch back over to Tristan St. Louis to Doesn't seem to be really making something happen. He's now 1.1 seconds off the pace. But we're going to jump back down to Ollie, as Ollie is now over the back of Cole Bennett with 33 seconds left to play in this race. Here they go down the hill. Can the Lexus take the Audi, or will the Audi be able to hold it back with 22 seconds left? Looks like Aiden Hasbrock is reeled in Reckler to about 1.4 seconds for this fight as they build themselves way, and it looks like Reckler's probably going to cross the line and end the race as we see the two battling it out side by side, but right now this is the closest battle here on the track. Nope, we're going to have one more lap to go for these drivers as the Lexus is trying to put all the pressure on the Audi. A little bit of a fireball out the side of the Lexus as they make their way through here onto the main straight. We're going to ride along board the inside of the Lexus as he's going to get a run on the Audi. There you guys have it, still nose to tail as they make their way through. Looks like Tristan St. Louis is running into a little bit of issues. He's now falling back 2.1 seconds to Stefan Buckley. So that fight for the race is over, but the fight for P8 is still brewing as we start to see Ollie from Australia keep pushing it towards Cole Bennett around this bend. What a beautiful race that these drivers are having. I mean, extremely wonderful here. But can Cole Bennett and Ollie, can Ollie make something stick against Cole Bennett? Cole Bennett's run a very smooth race. Granted, I believe he did get a 30-second stop go, so he did get affected by that, but he managed to keep his pace up and managed to make it work here as they go through. Ollie catches a lot more curb than what he really needed to, but he needed something to try to reel in Cole Bennett. So right now, Reckler is your race winner, followed by Aiden Hasbrock, P2. Andrew Jaschke, P7. Kevin Tarrance, P12. Here goes Ollie. We're about to make it onto the front straight. Cole Bennett still covering it. Nose to tail they go. Daniel Rosso, P13. James Park, P14. Andrew Murphy will be P15. Cole Bennett pulls it off, gets P8. Ollie, P9. We see Tristan St. Louis is closing in the gap of Stefan Buckley. So we're going to ride along board Stefan Buckley as we see Tristan St. Louis on the outside looking in. He's going to try around the outside. Stefan Buckley still pulls it off with a P3. Tristan St. Louis, P4. Brian Douglas, Mr. Hypersonic in the Discord, P5. He is making his way through. Lane Sander will most likely pull in P6, and Eric Howell will pull in P11 here for this race. As we see the drivers coming through here. Let's see where Brian Douglas crosses the line. Beautiful finish. Now let's see where Lane Sander is in that Mercedes-Benz monster Mercedes-Benz as he's coming through the final couple corners. And it looks like Andrew Murphy gets a 130-second penalty for not serving his pit as he crosses the line. So there you have it, everybody. Reckler P1, Hasbrock P2, Buckley P3, Tristan St. Louis P4, and Douglas P5 for your overall race winners. Truly an amazing battle that these drivers had. We will be right back. Give us a split second. We'll talk to the race winners here in the race as we go through. It seems like Jamie Morrison. Just 1 second.
Hey, Rickler, man, good job.
I'm gonna watch that.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the podium finishers. The reason why I'm laughing is because I did a whole entire spiel about our P3 finisher, and then I looked over and I went, my microphone is muted. So I'll make this very quick and make this very simple.
Oh, that's all right, Exia.
Huge congratulations to Stefan Buckley for finishing P3, even though he had a lot of issues prior to the season in this race. Huge congratulations to him. Buckley, talk us through your race and talk us through that last lap battle that you had with Tristan St. Louis, where we all thought that it seemed to be, yours for the taking, and it just seemed like Tristan St. Louis made it on your back end.
Yeah, as you know, I'm not a BMW driver anymore, and I just at the last minute, as you saw, jumped in with my old setup that I had to transfer a folder to. Anyway, I just wanted to stay out of the way and not get in the way of the points leaders, which I found out I couldn't remember who they were, except Xander and Jasky and some other ones. And I just wanted to plug away at my 144, 145. And when it come to, I forgot who was behind me, St. Louis.
Yes.
I knew he was faster. I knew that. It's just a matter of time where he caught me. But then, I thought, well, I'm not going to let him win too much. So I thought, without trying to do too many dangerous things, I thought I would give him a run for his money and make him earn the podium. And I tried to. My strategy was try to make him get track cuts. And once he got a track cuts, I figured maybe he'd take it easy. I don't know if that was the case or not, but I'm just happy and sweaty. Thank you.
Well, congratulations.
I'm old and sweaty.
Hey, you know what? You deserve it. You deserve it. You've worked a lot. So, congratulations on your P3 finish. For those that are still joining us, Stefan Buckley will be my teammate for the 3 hours of Kailami at Grid Finder this Sunday. So you'll be definitely checking him out during my POV as we stream the race there. Definitely a huge shout out and congratulations, as well as we'll definitely be rooting on for you guys during the e-seniors race. I believe that is coming tomorrow as well. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that, and we'll be definitely rooting for you guys there. And now to our P2 finisher, and probably our championship leader, or close to be championship leader, as I'll be taking care of the points here shortly, Mr. Aiden Hasbrock. Huge shout out to you, Mr. P2 finisher, as it seemed like we have a new contender, Mr. S. Reckler, decided to show up in the BMW and take the fight for you front runner guys. Talk us through your whole entire race. Was it, you guys were nose to tail most of the whole entire race.
I'm not really happy with the result, although the championship being closer is good. I'm not happy with the way I drove. I think on the short run, I was quicker than, I mean, he was a lot quicker than me. From the long run, I was quicker, but just too many mistakes. Uh, Tried the undercut, got stuck behind like 4 cars, which couldn't, didn't help me out. But not happy with the way I drove, but I'm close in the championship now, going into final race.
Yes, you are. You were only 15 points back. Second place, you get 20, and I believe Xander finished 6th overall in this race, so that's going to give him. It's definitely going to be a tight one here going into this.
5 points.
5 points? Wow. So this is actually,
Yes.
we're going to be tied up on points here in this race going into Zolder, a track where the McLaren is not the most favorite one, and I don't think the Mercedes likes the Zolder as well, especially with the low front ride height that the Mercedes-Benz likes to carry themselves. And for the viewers that are not, that just joined us here as well, the drivers that are going to be following us in for car number 1 for the Grid Finder 3 Hours of Kailami, both Aiden Hasbrock and Lane Zander will be racing there with the GTMR. So a few phases within the race, we will be following them as they go through. I apologize, we were not able to get the number 1 finisher, Reckler, here for the podium interviews, which is fully understandable, but we wish him the best of luck throughout the rest of the season. What an amazing performance he had through this whole entire race. And I want to thank the viewers as well as the drivers who participated, and I want to wish you guys all the best of luck and hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And please follow us on Sunday, where we take the battle with other leagues and see how well we fare up against everybody at Kailami. And I want to wish you guys all the best. Have a good night and take care.